Hello.
Hi.
Tiff Nunes.
It's now McCarthy.
McCarthy.
I'm married, so I changed my last name.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Tiff McCarthy. Let's chat.
Let's chat.
Oh my gosh.
Let's
such an Irish name now.
Yes, very. Honestly, I love it. Much more simple. Mm-hmm. Every time I had to spell my last name when I went somewhere. Now I'm like MTC McCarthy.
I love that.
Everybody knows it.
So I really spent time like figuring out correct pronunciation
of my name.
Because when because I've just seen it like Nunes.
ES.
So I'm like Nunes, and I'm just like, no, this is like the most English pronunciation. But is that correct?
Is right, Nunes.
Nunes.
Yeah.
Okay, because so I'm like, I think it must be Nunes.
Well, so there is like, I think it's like my family's Portuguese, but there's like a Spanish variation of the last name, and it's like the N with the thing and the C.
The Enya.
The Enya, yeah. And it's Nunes. So a lot of people think that's really what it's pronounced, but I'm like, no, it's a little different.
Yeah, it's just like chill with like the overcompensating.
We don't have the extravagant little apostrophes or whatever.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so McCarthy now.
McCarthy now.
When were you married?
This year. We got married in March.
Oh, just like this past year?
Yeah. We did like a town hall wedding.
Awesome.
I don't know how your wedding scenario was, but I'm very socially anxious. Mm-hmm. And I was like, we barely even hold hands. Like, we're gonna have all these people just like stand in front of us and tell each other how much we love you. Like, no, I can't do this. But yeah, we went to the town hall. We just had our family there.
Awesome.
Cute little ceremony. Our ceremony person was hilarious. She really threw a couple jokes in there. Made the things. It was like on a Monday at like 7 p.m. And yeah, then just went to casting flag and
oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
I love it.
Literally. Yeah, it was so funny. We came back to our apartment and we were walking up the stairs, and this woman who walking out her dog, she goes, oh my God, you guys look like you just got married. And we're like, we did.
That's amazing.
He's like wearing a suit on a Monday.
That's so great. Was that lady so proud of herself?
Yeah, she was like, oh my God, I need to hear all about it. Please. And she was like stopping her dog, like, wait, we'll go out in a minute.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was amazing. But it was just super enjoyable. And yeah, so married in March.
That's great. And then you had to go through like all the paperwork, changing the name, doing the whole thing.
So I found it very interesting artistically. I'm like, I've not changed my name anywhere. I mean, not that I have like, I don't really use my Instagram that much anyways, but I'm like, I haven't changed it anywhere else. Like, do I change it on my LinkedIn? Like, I've reached out to some professors for like, you know, connections and networking and stuff like that. And I'm like, if I change my name, they're not going to know who I am.
I know, it really is a question, I think, as an artist, but yeah, like in any professional field.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, I think a lot of times I see on LinkedIn, if people have their maiden name in parentheses.
Oh, that's interesting. I honestly, like, I feel like I've, especially since, like, starting, like, my proper career up here, I've just always introduced myself as Tiff. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, I say to Sean, my husband, I'm like, I'm just Tiff.
Yes.
I'm just Tiff.
Yes.
So
it's like Madonna.
Yeah.
Like Beyonce.
Adele. You know?
Right?
I'm just Tiff.
Even I think Britney's basically just Britney at this point. Like we know it was a Britney Spears, but it's Britney bitch.
Britney bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Tiff bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm just dropping. I'm just Tiff.
All
no
right.
last name.
I know.
So
I mean, really, I do
an artist. Move.
I do feel like like I said, I've only seen your last name written. Yeah. It's like when it's been referenced, it's always just been
really only
Tiff.
in like professional use. Mm-hmm. But like to everybody that I know, I'm like, oh, hi, my name is. And I mean, it's weird. Like people don't really introduce themselves or like, my name is Beth Bailey.
I know.
I do feel like,
I do though.
Although I feel like yours is like such a joined.
Exactly, and that was hard. So my maiden name was Gilmore. And so I actually struggled when I did want to change my last name, But it took me a while because I'm like, it's so bubbly sounding. Like, I just thought it was so weird. But then, as I started getting going as like really trying to get myself out there as an artist and an entrepreneur, that name sticks.
It works. Yeah.
Beth Bailey. And I feel like it's like, I don't know, I'm like a bubbly kind of nut. So it does kind of work.
Well, I never really thought about it, but that is so true. Like, your name is like your little mark.
Yeah, it is Beth Bailey.
When people talk about you, they're like, oh yeah, Beth Bailey.
Yeah.
It's like full name.
It's funny too, because there's really not a lot of Beths.
That's true.
Around there. So I could go Beyonce.
Beth, but Beth Bailey just has such a ring to it.
I know, right? When I was little, I was named after my grandmother, who was Elizabeth, and she went by Betty. And like in sixth grade, I was like,
no way.
I'm Betty now. Because I was always Beth. They named me Elizabeth, but always called me Beth. But I'm like, so I'll just never forget. Like, and she passed when my mom was pregnant with me, which is how they decided to give me her name. Yeah. But like, I'll never forget just really trying to encapsulate, like, no, I am Betty now, and just writing Betty Gilmore all over the driveway in sidewalk chalk.
Wow. That is such an art kid name. My name is Betty Gilmore.
Right? Imagine if I was Betty Bailey.
That's cute.
Right? Maybe there's still time.
Maybe there's still time. Maybe that'll be like your Renaissance name.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, I'm 40 now, so I'm coming up on like a good time for midlife crisis.
Oh, switch up.
Here we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we need to reset for all my viewers and my listeners. Thank you, first of all, for inviting me to your home.
Of course. Yeah. Welcome into my little cute cozy home.
It's so cozy.
We pushed this couch all the way back to my desks so that we had enough room.
Yeah.
But
cozy.
Yeah.
Coziest vibes.
You can kind of see my little workstation.
I know. This actually works great.
Very clean. It usually isn't this organized.
Can you guys see? I'll take a picture and include pictures.
Everything's kind of hidden in drawers and like that little but it's just like when I'm working, it's just like paints galore, paper everywhere.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you know.
Well, dude, I do know, and you know that I know, because the first time we met,
yes,
you came to my studio.
Yeah. So I work for Levitate.
Yes.
Our little local surf, music, and art community space, I guess.
I know. It's an enigma.
Yeah. And yeah, we went over to Beth's little studio to do a fun shoot. Filmed her in her process, which was incredible.
Really? Oh my God.
No, I loved it. I've always loved pottery. It's funny because so my husband and I met through Hinge, and he said the prompt that like called his eye was that I had that pottery was something I found sexy. Oh. And he was like, in what way? And I'm like, no, I love pottery. Like, not the process. I'm just like, it's so cool. Like, so different. It's so original. Like, that's just so cool to me.
Oh my gosh,
and
amazing.
He was like, okay, that's interesting. But so I always like loved pottery. I literally have like so many like random little bits of like, you know, pottery artists or whatever. I'm the same way with blown glass. Like it's such an involved process that I think that's what it fascinates me so much.
Yeah.
So when we came over, you're like had your entire station where you do all your paints and then your kiln and like it's so cool.
You got to come back because it's all different now.
Oh, I'm sure. It's been a minute. Yeah. It was a couple years ago, and I started by just slowly taking over like little chunks. And so, when you came, I had one area for glazing. I had my kiln in one area. I was throwing in another area, all separated in my basement. But just this past spring, I joined most of my kilns in the same spot, but my whole studio is in that whole room. I have that entire basement space now where I was throwing before. Whoa. And so we were like tucked into this tiny little corner. It was so funny, you guys getting pictures. I remember Gina, she works with you still, right? Not anymore.
Oh, Gina.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Gina's moved on to another career.
Gina is still in graphic design.
Yeah.
She is incredible. She was like getting into every nook. She was also a photographer, an amazing photographer. Getting into every like nook and cranny of the space and just trying to get photos. And I remember we were using like plastics for Gina to like get photos through the plastic.
And you're using mirrors. And at one point, she all of a sudden was outside and like removing a screen because I'm in the
one of
basement.
windows, yeah.
Yeah, so she was getting like a down
She's
angle.
like, can I take this off?
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I've actually never got that fully back in place. I've also never tried.
Okay.
So, you know.
I guess it's not that bad.
It's really not. I don't open that window that often.
Yeah, no, she was finding all the angles. It's so funny because she's like also like kind of quiet, so she'll just like sneak off, and then you're like, where is she? Oh, she's crouched in a corner over there.
Yeah, cool. From behind the shelves, getting shot through the shelves. That was so funny because it like we had decided to do that, get some action shots. I was wearing some Levitate clothing, but then I had also just dyed my hair like hot pink. Yeah. Which is not the Levitate. That's like,
you guys honestly, it worked so well though. We were shooting this like, the idea was that we had this collection of t-shirts and they were like retro 70s style t-shirts. And we were like, well, it will work really well in her space and like, you know, try to highlight like the art behind it and just like such an influential part of that like year and era or whatever. And on it, like your hair was like kind of pink. It wasn't like fully pink though.
No, it wasn't fully pink. I just I had sections.
Like little areas of pink, which was so fun. And then everything in there was just like so warm and like nice.
Yeah, like that red clay I use. Yeah. But then also at one point I'm like, okay, my pink hair probably could have waited, but I guess maybe it was okay. And then also like halfway through the shoot I realized I'm playing my studio playlist, which is like punk rock. And this is like Levitate is like more of like jam band surfer rock vibes. We had
like Gwen Stefani, but honestly like the best group of people to have in that space doing that, because it was Gina and Katie, who also no longer is with Levitate, but used to direct our content.
Yeah.
And we were like the girls of the office.
Yeah, and Jess,
so like every time we were in the office, we were like, just all the boys ruled. They decided what music, what vibes, and so then it was like girls day out.
That's
and
awesome.
We got to be like listening to Gwen Stefani and seeing pottery. And
okay, so I guess maybe some of more of the punk rock and stuff was good then, because it's like it was like the girls rebelling, the girls take over. We're doing our thing.
It was a good outing.
Oh
that was
my
a
gosh.
memorable one for sure.
That was so much fun. Yeah, that was really exciting for me to have you guys in. And so I like when I'm doing this, having these conversations, I really like figuring out early phases of like how people even get into these creative lives. So I want to circle back to hear more about where you're at now. But first, let's go back to Argentina. Not
Argentina. This is Pat's fault. He fake advertises me that I'm Argentinian and I'm not.
Are you Portuguese? You're Portuguese.
I'm from Venezuela.
You're from Venezuela?
Yes, and my family's Portuguese.
Where does Argentina come in?
Pat just always thinks I'm from Argentina.
Are you kidding me? He just confuses Argentina and Venezuela.
He says to everybody that I'm from Argentina, and every time I'm like, Pat, that's not where I'm from. And he goes, oh, I thought you were from Argentina.
I can't.
I'm like, dude, what?
Those places are so far away from each other.
To him, maybe South America is Argentina.
They're two different sides of the South American continent.
It's funny. I'm Pat, sorry.
Oh my gosh, Pat.
But
we love you dearly. But that's hilarious.
Yeah. So,
oh my gosh,
so I'm from Venezuela. Yeah, I grew up there. It was like a big family of women. It's just my mom, my aunts, my grandma, my granddad. We all lived in one big house together. And my aunt was like extremely artistic, is a dentist.
Okay.
But paints like she is like Michelangelo.
Amazing.
Does incredible portraits, like just has such an artistic skill. At school, I loved every time we get to like build something, like for biology or like chemistry or whatever. I would be like, it would be her and me breaking down paper macheing, everything.
That's awesome.
So I think I got a lot of that from her. My mom worked in like events and stuff, so like she also had like kind of an eye for like design and like, aesthetics. So I kind of was a little surrounded by some art, and then I was just like such an outside kid, like loved being creative and like playing potions, like
yes,
you know, like just use what you have at your in your backyard and try to build stories from that. I used to play in my head a lot. I was very quiet.
And siblings?
I had a brother,
Okay.
whom I love, and he was also very someone who I played with a lot, but not very creative. Good technical person. Like he built stuff and like used to be really good. We had like technical drawing classes in high school, and he was amazing at those.
Yeah.
Very clean. But yeah, whenever I was alone and he was like in sports, I would just like play in my head, like build stories in my head, and very quiet. And then I went
keep that
college.
mic close to your mouth.
Oh, sorry. Oops. And then I decided I wanted to go to college for design.
Like how though? That's such a big, bold move, especially your mom's working events.
Yeah.
So she's in a space where she's like, that's a clear paycheck. Like I'm going to go work this job.
Right.
I'm going to go, and this is how we get paid. Your aunt, she's a dentist, like very clear
It was
path.
very much like I had to like sell it.
Yeah.
Sell it that, you know, this is what I'm doing. I never saw myself staying, regardless of like, we have like a very political situation, our country's like not really nice. But just regardless, I always said I was gonna go to school in the US. Like that was always like my like direction. And like I was like always like the kid, my TV, I used to watch it in English, like always fascinated with like American culture to a degree. Just like saw myself living here. So
are you speaking Spanish, Portuguese as well?
Portuguese a little bit. My grandparents spoke Portuguese.
Okay.
So like I understand it a lot more than I could speak it. But yeah, Spanish, all my schooling in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. So are you learning English at home with your family at the same time? Are you getting most from TV?
Yeah.
Is it in school?
Mixture. Like my mom lived in the US, so she tried to like, she would have like talks with us in the car in English, and like sometimes say just stuff just to like keep it in our space, so that we started to think, because I feel like if anybody's learning a language, the way to do is you have to think in the language. If you start breaking down translation, that it's harder to get over. So she tried to incorporate it. We had English classes at school, and we used to spend summers in Aruba, and a lot of the friends that we made there were from the US. So, you know, as a kid, you have to communicate. And so I had to learn my words.
I'm obsessed with Aruba.
I love it. It's the best.
It is so
place
gorgeous.
To be. Honestly, haven't gone back since I was like 14, 13.
Yeah.
So it's very different from the last time I was ever there. But it was just like such a nice place to grow up going to. Like, again, like so much freedom. Like we could do whatever we wanted. Like my mom had like zero worries like about where we were.
That's
like
awesome.
It was so safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like English was always around us. My mom really made sure of that. I loved watching TV in English. Like hated when there was like a subbed or like a dubbed anything. I was like, change it now.
Totally. I'm so interested in that from when you're young too, because growing up in this region, it's just like everyone's speaking English.
Yeah.
People aren't planning on leaving and going anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have some language development, but it's like my brain wasn't sort of like flexed as a child the way I think it could have been. And now I'm working with more people who speak a variety of languages. And one of them is Cape Verdean Creole, which is not even on my Google Translate app.
Yeah,
it's so annoying. Like a massively widely spoken language, and it's so hard. So I'm like using AI a lot of times in the moment trying to get translations. Right. But I love what you said about just trying to like think in the language.
Yeah, you kind of have to like, and I think a lot of it was that people that are here, like they're not consuming media from any other, you may, but it's like British media, you know, so it's like adjacent.
Yeah.
All the media I was consuming was like either British or American, like very much like English. Like all the books I liked to read like were American writers. Like,
so cool.
I wanted to consume the media in the language that it was supposed to be, you know, like in. Like,
yes.
As soon as something got translated, I knew that it was wrong because I would see the difference. Like I understood the English, and then I would see the Spanish translation. I'm like, that's not what that says. So like that really bothered me that I wanted to consume it in the intent that it was meant to be consumed.
Yeah.
Which is tough when you think about all the other things in the world that you want to, you know, understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, I think, like the biggest thing and the biggest reason for me was because I was consuming so much content that I just wanted to fully understand in its like intended form. So it was all the books I was reading were in English. There were words that I had no idea what they meant, and then I would look them up, and I'm like, oh, that's what that means.
Okay, this is inspiring. Okay, I'm gonna go find some more Cape Verdean Creole content that's originally there, and then just look it up as I go, figure it out contextually. And that's sort of how I'm figuring it out anyway, is just like I'm learning little bits of things to say.
Yeah, that's like the way to do it. It's like kind of try to be in its environment. And I would say like music. And,
oh yeah.
And like shows or anything like that.
I actually, for one of the art installations we had with the community I'm speaking out, who I was working with, part of it, we are always listening to Cape Verdean music. And I actually sang in some Creole. Cool. They're all so proud of me. But okay, so you're had to kind of pitch it to the fam.
Yeah.
But like, was there a teacher or something? Like, what was going on with art in the school? Like, how did you even find out about these colleges?
I had a lot of friends that were in like different schools. So like, there were like definitely like, I went to private school. Most of the schools where I came from are private schools. And I had a lot of friends from other schools that maybe had like more extracurriculars and stuff. Like we didn't really have any. We have theater, and I was like maybe part of theater for like a year, a quarter, which was cool. Definitely, I loved anything artistic. Like I think not from school, I would say. Like there were definitely teachers that like encourage my creativity in the way I like resolve things. Like for like biology classes, we had to like make these like 3D visualizations of like a virus, and everybody was doing like Play-Doh, and I'd be like, no, I'm cutting up this box, and then I'm using this like acrylic thing, and then I'm like, and it was mostly my aunt at home who would go to, and she'd be like, no, we could do something cool, we could do something original, we can art attack this.
I love it.
And it was like, yes, this is what I need. So it was like much creativity in my house. Like arts were definitely encouraged. And in school, they were like a little bit, but it wasn't like, I was in a science school. Like everybody there was going in an engineering path. And if not engineering, you were going to be like in communications. Like that was the closest thing to art. If you were interested in the arts that you would have gone to. And it was like you were going to study communications and go work PR or go work for TV and anything like that. Which was like not my interest at all. Like tried. Not for me.
Yeah.
So I was just like where I started, which is what I went to college for, was fashion design. And I was like, I'm gonna go to fashion school, like, and my mom was like, you're not gonna go to New York. And I was like, no, I will not go to New York. That seems like too much of a cultural shock.
Yeah.
So then I had friends that had gone. I went to SCAD in Savannah. And I had a friend that had taken their like summer seminar program. She's like, oh, you would love it. Like everything there's walkable. You know, you can ride your bike around the city. It's a smaller school. And at the time it was. Now it's humongous. And I went to visit it over a summer with my mom and loved it. My mom loved Savannah.
Great.
She now lives there.
No.
So she loves it. And she was like, yeah, I see you here for sure. Like, this is very much Tiff and, like, your vibe completely. So cool. And yeah, college was, like, such a amazing experience. Like, just being surrounded by people that this is what they do for a living. Like, yeah, seeing that and, like, how much it was a part, like, people really appreciated that. And, like, I mean, I don't know so much now. I think it still is, like, pretty relevant. But in this culture, art is, like, such an appreciated, like, area of study. And yeah, like, in jobs, like, there's so many opportunities for designers and artists.
I love hearing
like,
this.
They're hard to find. They're a little gatekept, but if you put in the work, they really are. And there are some sacrifices you have to take, like, here and there. Like, you know, I work lucky enough to work somewhere where, like, I have a lot of creative freedom. And like, Dan and Jess both, who own Levitate, just really push that on people. Like, they work with you. Like, they want to hear your opinions. They want to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you think would do? Like, this is what I kind of want and what I visualize, but, like, you can bring it to life however way you want. So that freedom there, definitely I'm lucky to have. But, you know, people would sacrifice that for, like, a bigger salary. And then you work a corporate job, or you do, or, like, decks. And, you know, it's a hard thing to, like, take in consideration, but I definitely think there's opportunities out there. I think, like, it's such an amazing path to take career-wise. Like, it's so fun. Yeah. You know, the people you meet along the way are, like, incredible souls. Like,
and so what was your focus was fashion? Is that the degree you ended with?
Yes, that was my undergrad degree, which then I graduated, moved to New York, worked the corporate jobs.
Okay.
And was like, yeah, this is not for me. Like,
so what were you doing? What were those first jobs? Did you find them before moving to New York? Did you move to New York first and then find them?
I did an internship, like, right after I graduated. I was also such an overachiever type of person, which still am a little bit. But I just, like, pushed myself so hard to, like, do college really fast. Don't advise. I stay in college for as long as you can. School is incredible. But yeah, I, like, rushed. I would take, like, summer classes and, like, 4 classes in a quarter, which was, like, in SCAD, like, a psycho move. And I, like, rushed through college, graduated, took my first internship. I didn't take one while I was in college. And I took my first internship and I was like, oh, all I'm doing is, like, going to get sippers from the garment district and bagels. And they don't really care for what I have to say. Yeah. Design meetings were happening closed doors. Like, no. You were, like, copying, pasting. Maybe I was able to recolor a print, and I was like, oh my God, I'm doing something. But, you know, it was just like, it's just what you do. And then I got a job with Bergdorf Goodman, which is an incredible, like, huge department store in New York, like, such history. And I was, like, an assistant to their stylist in the menswear department, because that, for a big point of my time, was, like, where my interest lied, was in menswear.
I know, we haven't even really talked about the work you were making in college, so I'm sure you had to have shows. You're actually sewing your own garments at this point. You're probably having to show and design collections. So what did that look like? Were you headed towards menswear for much of that time?
I was headed towards menswear for a lot of it. This was, like, I remember so many conversations. Like, I took a menswear class and I really enjoyed the construction behind it. Like, it was, like, not that women's wear doesn't have that. I think evening wear has that. But it was just, like, so involved. Everything was, like, a lot of it, we got taught how to do it by hand. And that I loved. Yeah. Like, anything that I could do with my hands, I was like, yes. Yeah. pattern making, I hate it. Anything that I had to like figure out the math behind how to make something like 1 inch bigger, but then the leg doesn't then become suddenly so baggy. Oh, broke my brain. Not good with that. And so I didn't totally enjoy that. But yeah, we were making our own collections. The biggest thing was like you do your senior collection, you design it through. It's kind of like any other art college program. You have like your thesis per se. And yeah, we do like 1 quarter, you're working through your concept, your collection, like all this stuff, which was like to me the most enjoyable part. Like I remember everybody always loved my process books, which was a thing that I loved about you. And when we connected was that I was like such a lover of process books. And everybody always like commented on my books, like every professor. I remember like being asked to be like when we had guests coming to the college, like they would want me to be one of the people there. Maybe not because I had like the coolest ideas or like the most like well constructed garments, but it was like because I had like such a strong design process that they were like, we want you to show your process books.
I love that. Do you still have them?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to show me.
I will. I have my graduate program process book. But yeah, it was like that to me was like the most enjoyable part of the process. And then we built our collections. You present it to a jury, and then the jury kind of decides who makes it into the fashion show at the end. And there's only like 20 people. I think out of like maybe 70 of us. I don't really know how big my graduating class was.
Competitive.
Very competitive. And that was like that either you made it or you didn't make it thing, which looking back on it doesn't have anything to do with like how well you do professionally at all.
Oh, of course. But that must have been really hard for people who didn't.
Yeah. I remember like.
That seems brutal.
The way it got posted, who made it into the show was like a piece of paper, like literally like how you see in the movies, like who made it into the theater, who's having the main leading role. It was like a paper that got posted outside of the dean's office, and nobody wanted to go. They wouldn't do names; they would do your student ID because that's like how, so that people didn't talk about it or whatever gossip. But like everybody knew. So nobody wanted to go. Anybody on the senior class didn't want to go in case you didn't make it. Like you would cry,
Yes.
Like you worked as like literally blood, sweat, and tears. Like people like stabbing themselves in the fingers with the sewing machines. Like throughout the year, sleepless nights, like so many sleepless nights, like unreal.
Just let everyone in. Come on.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Exactly. And I remember crying. Just like on the I asked a friend to go take a photo of the list who was like a junior or something. And they sent me the photo, and I remember having it on my phone, and my mom was with me, and she was like, just look at it. And I was crying. And my mom was like, why are you crying? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, this is such I've worked so hard for all these 3.5 years, and then it comes down to this. And my mom is like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, you're good at what you do. And like, if you make it, great. If you didn't, like, also what you did was really good.
Yay, mama.
And I know, she's so supportive. She's the best. And I was like, okay. And I opened it, and I saw that I got in, lost my head.
Amazing.
And I felt so...
Congratulations. But then, I feel like I still should say congratulations
but
now.
But immediately you feel so bad. Because you know how much everybody else, how hard they worked. You know? And I'm like, oh... Why? And nobody tells you why you got picked.
I know. All right. Come on, SCAD. Maybe loosen up a little bit on this. It's so hard. But I mean...
I would love to get, like... If anything, like... They don't tell you, like, the notes. Like, I want to know, like, what people had to say.
Yeah.
Like, it was, tough. Like, even if you didn't make it, I'm like... can you tell me what you didn't like? Like, why didn't I make it? Oh, because, like, my thing is not, like, show. Like, it's not, like, wow. And I feel like that definitely has an impact now. Where, like, if it's, like, really colorful, really, like, grandiose, like, you're in. Because it puts on a show, you know? And I remember, even in my critiques, like, my juried critiques, I had professors that were, like... Because my whole thing... was like, I made a collection that was genderless. Like boys, girls, whatever.
Okay, a little ahead of your time, because what year was this?
Yes, this was like 2016.
Okay, yeah.
It was
because
like,
that's huge
it had
now.
just started.
Yeah.
Like the conversation around like gender bending and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And because I loved menswear, I was like, yeah, but I also love women's clothes. Like I want to find like an in between.
Yeah, like
and,
I can be girly and wear stuff cut for more of like a boxy style.
Or like men's that want to wear like flowier t-shirts, like with the same structure of like, you know, maybe perhaps like a white t-shirt, like a button down t-shirt, whatever. But yeah, I remember professors being like, that, how are you going to sell this? I'm like, I'm here doing art. And I'm like, I'm really here to merchandise this. My idea is not to sell it. This was just like, to me, like, is like a piece of art. Like the whole thing is a piece of art. And they were like, well, this is a collection. Are you going to market it? And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to establish a brand here. Like,
so interesting. You know, okay, so I don't know if you find this, but when I am having to do creative design based stuff at home, like Jeff and I right now are going through, we're like, our kids share a room and that's fine. They're little, but we're like, would like to maybe do an addition.
Yeah.
So they can eventually have their own rooms when they get older. So talking to designers and architects and like all of these things, I have I am so separated from emotion and talking design that we have a difficult time with it. Cause sometimes Jeff will be like, expressing his opinions about something and I'm just like, that's bad. This is da 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 da. And he'll literally be like, ouch. Okay, but be nice to me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, but like I went to art school, so it's completely separated from me. Like when I'm talking critique, when I'm talking design, it has nothing. I'm completely separated emotionally. I am just talking
interesting.
Meanwhile, everything else in my life,
you
know, and when I'm making my work, but when I'm having like a crit conversation,
you're like, you can see the separation.
I feel like there's a benefit there because, you know, I got a degree in painting. And so, you know, I'm like painting my soul and then just being torn apart. But needing to be able to be separated from that so that I could hear the advice and hear what they're talking about, like the actual composition and design, and then decide whether or not I want to take that feedback. It's not like you have to take it. That's part of it too, right? Like you hear it, you think about it, and then you decide if it's accurate or not for yourself. But then there's like then I can merge the emotion back into it. Yeah. So do you run into that? Like, how are you doing?
Yeah, I think I was definitely much better at that when I was in grad school than I was doing my undergrad. Like, whenever I would get especially thesis, like that was like the biggest one when like people would talk to me about like it merchandising any other way. I'd be like, but that's not what I want. Like, and they're like, but this is for your career. And we were
pull
like,
it together, Tiff.
I know. And they're like, but this is what you got to think about if you think about business. And then I was like living in like la la land of like, I'm a fine artist, which is great. But you know, just like that part, you kind of have to have like a mixture of both. Like you can be a fine artist, but like you have to have a little bit of a reality check that like, what are you doing? Like somebody needs to buy it if you want to make money out of this, you know, like you can't just make stuff. I mean, what a privilege, right? If you could just make whatever you want it all the time.
That's like the goal to get there eventually.
Yes.
But yeah, it's hard to start your career that way.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, so just like a good balance of both is good. When I was in grad school, I was like much more like, and I think because when I did grad school, I wasn't doing apparel anymore. I went in for the degree is called graphic design and visual experience.
Okay, so you're at Bergdorf Goodman.
Yes.
Working there after, this is your internship?
This was after my internship. This was like a real job.
Okay, so this is your real job. You're getting zippers from the garment district.
I actually, for my actual job, was much more like, had to be more, I was like organizing this guy, like 2 stylists who have like a list of clients.
Oh, right. Okay. You're the assistant to the stylists here.
And they would have like, it's a lot of like problem solving creativity. Like very quick thinking on your feet. Like we had like these huge clients, like princes of whomever, or like
amazing
huge guys. They would just come to shop and they just need wardrobe for like an island house, you know? But it's like their time is very limited. They need
like a wardrobe for an island house. Like, okay, I have an island house and I need a wardrobe picked out that I can just wear there.
Different, I will say, insane different brackets.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome to live. Because like when you're in New York, you're like, wow, this is so bougie.
Yeah.
And they were very, like, everybody I met, very nice people. And their time is very limited. So obviously, like, in the, like, 30 minutes there, you have to, like, get a tailor in there and, like, make sure you get all the measurements on, like, every piece of clothes they want to get. And, like, I got to also have a lot of relationships with the brand ambassadors of a lot of the brands that were selling there. So, like, there's, like, heritage brands that nobody would even know the name of. And they have, like, these, like, suit jackets that they only make, like, 5 in the world.
Wow.
Because the fabric is so, like, special. It's, like, this one alpaca thread that gets produced. Like,
it's, like, from an actual one alpaca.
Truly. Like, an insane thing. But you start, like, seeing, like, the true craftsmanship behind things. And, like, it's so impressive. And, like, you know, the value behind these things. Like, I wouldn't say that everything has that same value, but, like, there's definitely these, like, heritage brands that are, like, from Italy or, like, whatever. And I would meet the brand ambassadors who were from Italy, who were, like, working there and, like, knew the factory and the people. And you talk to the tailors. The tailors were my favorite people ever. They're, like, they were these older men, French, Italian, like, knew how to break a garment down and how to put it back together in, like, the blink of an eye.
So cool. And when you say heritage brands, do you mean, like, these are, like, small homegrown businesses that have, like, essentially made it out and made it big?
Yeah, like, so there's a brand called Keaton. The most expensive suit you will ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, that jacket
made by one alpaca named Carrie.
But yeah, like, it's still owned by the family. Like, the family would come. Like, we met, like, the sons. Like, the brand ambassador is friends with the sons. Like, very much, like, it's at a crazy scale. But if you think about it, like, it's kind of how my job is here. Like, everybody knows each other. It's a family business.
Everyone's
like,
really proud of the work.
Yeah, like, it's the exact same thing, just at a different scale. And, like, obviously, like, a different money number,
different client
quality or whatever.
When you have a different client, that kind of dictates a lot.
Totally. So yeah, that was, like, it was just, like, such a crazy experience. The thing that fascinated me the most was that our, like, the tailor workshop, which I had to go to all the time, was right next to the window display people, like, their workshop. And the window displays are just so beautiful and fascinating to me. And they just, like, spent so long working to, like, build these windows to just, like, try to grab people's attention, you know? And it's like the reveal every year in Christmas is, like, such an ordeal, and it's just awesome. Like, I loved that whole process. So I would, like, every time I had to wait for an order from the tailor shop, I would just sneak my way into the window display people, and I'd be like, what are you guys working on today?
So cool. And, like, this is an experience where now you're seeing all the different job opportunities. So when we started, you're like, in design, there's so many jobs. And I'm like, really? Because like, I never worked in New York. I never went to New York. I grew up here. My family's lived in this region for generations. We are mailmen. We are nurses. We are secretaries.
Yes. So
it's like, I'm going to school for painting, and my parents are like,
no,
you are also going for education, right? So I did. So I got a dual degree, and I am a natural educator. Like, I love it. I did always want to be a teacher. Yes. So, like, it worked for me. I did do a dual degree, and that is my business. My business is, I am half in the studio. I'm half teaching. I love both. I need both. However, the idea of, like, going to school in New York or something would, like, not have been okay. Like, if I even wanted to go to school in, like, Maine, I feel like my family would have, like you said, you got to kind of, like, pitch it. But you got yourself into a situation where you're seeing all the different job opportunities. And that's the thing. It's not that my family didn't want me to follow my passion. It's just they're like, what job are you going to do though?
No,
you know what I mean?
And that's totally like, it's a weird thing. Like you wouldn't know. I mean, and a lot of people that work there were like engineers or like, you know, there's the crazy backgrounds.
Yeah.
But they're putting on these really artistic, like, it's like sculptural work. Like,
yeah.
But they are building it from scratch. They're coming up with the concept. They're like meeting with the creative director of like Bergdorf's and having conversations about what's possible and what they can do to bring their vision to life. It is a designer. Like, their art super artistic. I mean, you look at Free People and the whole urban universe and how much effort they put into their like merchandising, visual merchandising. Like those stores are flipping every season with a new like insane artistic display in the windows, inside, like, and those girls are, or guys or whomever, are like building the things from scratch. They're like figuring out how to do a big cherry that's like humongous that's gonna sit in the middle of the store. Like, but yeah, I just think like discovering that was really cool, and I was like, oh, like this is a thing, like,
and seeing it in practice, not just like knowing first of all, knowing the jobs exist is a hurdle, and that's part of the reason I like recording these conversations, because I want more people to know like these jobs exist. But the second thing is that you were seeing them in practice. You saw these people in your studio, in their studio space, kicking around. You saw what it actually looked like to do the work, and that makes you envision like, okay, how can I live a creative life?
Yeah.
And what concessions am I willing to make? Do I need a higher salary, or could I take a lower salary if it meant my day-to-day could look like this? So you start being able to like figure that out.
Right. Yeah. So
when you're
like
in New York,
seeing that, I'm like, just really interested to the idea that like you're that's kind of what like drawing the customer in, and like you can build this like storytelling journey, and you're in like a space, and it really came down to like, I was really interested in storytelling. How can I do that in my creative jobs?
So you start thinking grad school.
Went back to grad school.
And that's in New York?
That's back to SCAD.
Okay, so you moved back to SCAD. So how long were you in New York for?
Like a year and maybe a couple months.
Great. So you went in.
I went in.
You had a season. This is your first
I was also,
Northeast
because
season.
I'm international, I was an OPT, so I'm like trying to like, do I get an H-1 visa? Like, what am I doing? Like, do I go back to school? Like, I'll go back to school. You know, being a SCAD alum, you get like really nice scholarships. I'm like, I'll do that.
Fantastic.
Sounds great.
How was your winter in New York?
I prefer the cold.
You love it?
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love a fall. I love a winter. Savannah summers are brutal, man. They're brutal. Like, you can't be outside.
What about Venezuela? It must be the same.
It really isn't. I lived like in the mountains. It was like,
mountains,
nice weathered. Like, we didn't have AC in our house. If it got too hot, you open a window. And like, you open a door, and the breeze will come in, and it's nice. The worst thing is like mosquitoes, and you have fans. Like, you know, whatever.
Amazing.
But yeah, I'm like, the heat I just like can't do. Especially like that type of heat, like that you can't enjoy being outside, and that to me is like the hardest, because I want to sit on the grass, I want to go sit on a park, like I don't want to be inside, especially when I'm trying to do creative work, you know. Like that was challenging.
So you're back in Savannah.
So yeah, back to Savannah, back to SCAD.
And what was your major? What did you apply?
So that was
for graduate
graphic design and visual experience. And I remember having like such a hard time because the department, so that graphic design department originally denied me because of my statement, and then
because of your statement?
Yes, and I'll get into this for a second. But so then I went in through fashion, but then the advisor was like, if you plan as graphic design, you can still take those classes. Like, nobody's stopping you. And then you can just reapply. And I'm like, great, yeah, I'll do that.
I did something like that too. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah. So I didn't get into mass art the first time I applied. My portfolio wasn't ready. And then I ended up going to a community college that had a transfer program. So I did some of my gen eds there.
Yep.
Had to apply to my community college professors at Massasoit.
Yep.
They accepted me, so they transferred me in, but they only could send people in for certain majors, 3 people for 3 different majors. And the competition for the art ed was someone I didn't want to compete with. And there was no one applying for the printmaking.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to go. And I love printmaking too. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to go in as a printmaker. I did. And before I had my first class, I just switched my major to art ed, and no one at Mass Art cared.
Yeah.
It's completely fine. Not a big deal.
Once you're in the door, you can do whatever you want.
Just got to get in the door.
Yeah.
Just got to get your student ID.
Yes.
All freshened up.
I know.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
I went in.
I love it. Okay, so you went in fashion.
And then I took, so there's like, if you don't have a background in a degree, they'll have you take these like 500 level classes just to kind of like intro you into what you will be doing, you know? Mm-hmm. And I took one, and I had this professor who was amazing. Her name is Rhonda Arnson.
Shout out Rhonda.
Who was just so encouraging and, you know, just conceptual thinking. And my favorite thing she ever did in every class, anytime you presented something, she would say, so what? Like, why are you doing this? Why do we need it? Why do people care for it? Like, yeah, she was just so awesome. And yeah, I took her class, and she was like, and you got denied? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Can't explain that.
But I found another way.
And she goes, well, no, but you still have to like reapply. She goes, I'll arrange a meeting with the dean so that you can sit with the dean and like have a talk. And I went into this meeting with the dean, and the dean had printed my like statement, like artist, designer statement or whatever, statement of purpose, whatever it's called. And he had highlighted every time I described myself as an artist. And he was like, if you want to be in this degree, you need to start describing yourself as a designer. And I was like, what does it matter?
Okay.
You know, like deep down inside.
Not
I was
a
like,
shout out to this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was great, I guess. But again, it's like the separate thinking of like, if I wanted to take this degree because I want to be an artist, you know, and I don't want to, like, he doesn't know what my background is, like what I want to do.
But it's like semantics, bro.
Totally. But he was like, you know, design, like artistic thinking is very different than designers and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, respect. And I'm like, so what I have to do is just change all of those to designer and I'll be in. Great.
Oh my God.
Which I legit did.
Okay,
maybe
good job.
Rewrote like one sentence. And yeah, and then I was in this degree and I had the time of my life. I loved it. I loved everything we made. It kind of like, I don't know, you feel like as an artist, as designers, you have like an eye for what things look good and what things feel right and, you know, proportionally and all this stuff. But it just kind of opens up like a whole nother door of like knowledge. Like, dude, typography is a wild, wild world. And that class was so hard and so challenging. And you like refine your eye to like see spaces in between letters and things in such a crazy way.
You know what I think about a lot when I'm thinking about lettering is the like E and the levitate that goes diagonally up.
Oh, yes.
Interesting little typography thing. Did you guys develop that typography?
Yes. So we're actually in the process right now of like reworking our logo.
Oh, I love the diagonals.
That's interesting. I'll bring that. I'll bring that in.
Guys, Beth Bailey does not know anything.
No, but
graphic
like
design.
It's so interesting because like obviously like that logo has such a recognized, like it's everybody sees that's Levitate. But, like, you know, we get into the deeper conversations, like, does it feel like Levitate? Like, you have this organic yoga guy, and then you have these, like, super blocky, strong letters, and it's just, like, kind of hard. So we're trying to find a happy medium.
Fun.
But, yeah, it like, learning all those things are really hard, and, you know, you kind of, like, open this door and figure it out. And in that, I took a lot of classes in printmaking, actually. And I love the printmaking studio. Like, I could live there. Yeah. It's just like the best place to be. You know, everybody's just so nice and everybody's doing their own thing. And like, yeah, just loved it. Another shout out, Deb Oden, incredible professor. I TA'd with her.
In the print shop?
In the print shop. in a screen printing class, and it was like an elective. So like, you know, people are getting to make whatever they want to make. And that is so fun, and having to figure that out. We worked with like the first like project of that TAing class is like, we worked with a real artist. He comes in with his sketches, and we find a way to like turn his sketches and his drawings into actual prints, and like how to make that process so that he can make like editions of his stuff, you know?
Oh my gosh, this must be so helpful for your work now.
Yeah. So I work now like in printwear, where we take art, we pull it apart, and we have to split into all these different colors, because either we work with like digital printing or we work with screen printing. Yeah. And like figuring out, you know, the layering, like how colors are reactive with each other, et cetera, et cetera. It's such a cool process, and it's so involved, which again is what I love. And then for that, I did like my whole thesis was on like the process, and like how I kind of like compared it to like my grandmother was a big cook baker, like, and I had all these recipes from her, and they're all like stained, and like it was like they were like physically ingrained with like her process of work, you know, and
written in her handwriting.
Awesome. Which I have tattooed.
I was wondering when you started talking about typography, I'm like, okay, so that's even a bigger choice for you to get a tattoo of writing, because I'm sure you really thought about it. Yeah. But it's her handwriting.
It's her handwriting. It's from one of her recipes.
Stop.
Yeah. And so
what does it say?
It says more colors, and it's from one of my favorite things she made, which was a colored Jell-O. She made it for every birthday. And that truly that
is that
one
Portuguese?
Yes. So it says mais cores.
Mais
more
cores.
Colors.
Mais cores. I'll remember that, because people speak Portuguese where I work a lot as well.
Yeah, her thing was like in the Jell-O, in the colored Jell-O, she's like, the more colors, the prettier it's gonna look. So she was like pushing for like, she was already like thinking visually of like how something's gonna look.
Amazing.
And even though she's like not an artist by any means, she was never artistically inclined, but her artistic skill lied in the kitchen.
Well, okay, and I say that too, because earlier I was like, my family's like, you know, like working class, but like my mom is an amazing quilter. Yeah. My grandmother, amazing baker, but also was teaching knitting classes on the side. Like I have an aunt who is painting. Yes. Like
these were like the crafts of like, I say like women, like, you know, like every grandma knows how to knit. And I'm like, you don't meet people nowadays that like know how to knit. Yeah. You know, like I wish we had like home ec. Yeah. When I was growing up, like people say that's so dumb. I'm like, that is like the best class you could ever have. Yeah. They teach you how to do home things.
Well, you know, I went on such a big embroidery kick over the past year after I did painting with thread class with Olivia Harvey at North River Art Society. Shout outs all around. But it got me off my phone. Yeah. So like I'll be you know, I'm sitting there bathing my kids, and it's like I should be more engaged with them, but in reality there's only so long I can play along with like the bath game of like Optimus Prime having a fight with the pirates. So instead of like scrolling though, I'll be sitting there and I'll have my embroidery, and I feel like honestly like some of those things maybe are lost to digital stuff, because that's like knitting and things like that. It's a lot of things you're sitting around at home.
Coming back. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of coming back. People are like just wanting that like cozy activity. Yeah.
You can just get lost in it.
Yeah, you really can. Like, so that was like I was doing a lot of embroidery. I love doing embroidery. Yeah. And I was like the same thing for us artists. Like I have so many of like my little aprons that I would wear in the print shop, and they're all like stained with ink or like you know, your hand wipes, and that's like everything you've done. It's like that's the result of it, and that's like gets like pushed in a bag or like a drawer, and nobody gets to see that. They see the pretty thing, but they don't see like how you got there.
I love hearing about this too, because when you were first saying that you're about your major for graphics, I was thinking you were going to be spending a lot more time on the computer right away, and that might have been like, ugh, what am I doing? I don't want to spend my time on a computer.
I had my moments. Like I had classes where we were like, we're making an app. The result of this is an app. And I'm like, how do I make, like, what? And I'm like, okay. And that's not to say I love Illustrator. I spent, so much, probably spent the majority of my day on a computer nowadays. When I don't, I'm like, oh, hello. But yeah, like every time that we had to kind of think about it in a technological way, my brain definitely like hurt. But then I'm like, okay, how do I make this feel like this?
Yes.
Like, and that's what I try to do in like a lot of my stuff. Like if I had to describe the way like my work is like multidisciplinary and delicate and like ethereal.
Yes.
And or even like nostalgic. Like I have to have like, if I'm doing something digital, I have to scan things. Like I just like, it has to start from my hands and then it can move over to the digital. And that's like how I always, like whenever I had those classes, like we were making an app, I'm like, okay, how do I make the app feel like we're like walking in the wood or whatever, you know, whatever it was that we were making. Like I remember doing this thing for, it was like designing an experience for the museum. And I'm like, okay, like it's so flat and it's so cold. And I'm like, how do we make this engaging and like magical and fantastical? And I'm like designing this like app that you're like have to use your phone to go find things in the physical environment.
Cool.
And yeah, like that's like how I like wrap my brain around it. Cause it's not that I'm like abandon technology at all costs.
Totally.
Like, no. Like, that's super helpful. I love it. And I also spend, like, a ridiculous amount of time on my phone.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I know, it happens. But you're like finding a balance. So now you're in your graduate program and you're spending time physical things, you're doing digital things.
Yep.
And are you jumping into any jobs locally in Savannah, sort of like as you're finishing your degree there?
Yeah. So I worked with a boutique there, who I just like would do their Windows displays.
Yes.
And
New York coming back around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Help like merchandise around the store and like, you know, do a lot of like their like postcards and signs and ads and things.
Fun.
Like, our director like a lot of like their photo shoots and like e-commerce stuff. So like it was kind of like my two worlds started to like blend a little bit. And then after graduating from my master's degree and looking for jobs, I wanted to find a job that was a mixture of the both. Like I didn't want to fully abandon apparel design.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to fully abandon like everything I'd done for my grad department, you know, like, so I was trying to find a balance. I wanted to be up here in Massachusetts. I loved it up here. It was like,
and you had family here. Well, your now husband's family
was up here.
Was here. So you sort of had like, okay, if we move to Massachusetts, we kind of have like a community.
Yes.
There's like a home base situation.
Right. So I was looking at jobs up here. Happened to have like two postings. One was Levitate and the other one was Trillium. And I was
funny.
Like, two places I love.
Amazing.
When I came up here and got introduced to. And they were like kind of in the same like realm.
This is crazy to me because Levitate, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have like under 20 full-time, like year-round people running like the core company,
team,
right?
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a lot of job postings.
No. So it's very random. And
very
I was like,
kismet.
oh my God. Like, Levitate's hiring and like Trillium's hiring. I applied to Trillium, didn't hear back. And I'm like,
Trillium Brewing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then applied to Levitate. And I remember being like, okay, I gotta do a little bit more than like just apply. Like because I remember like, so my husband, his brother, they grew up coming here. His brother learned how to surf from Dan.
No.
And I'm like, well, do you know Dan? And he goes, nah, not that well. And I'm like, okay, never mind. So I'm like messaging Chad, who is our marketing director.
Okay, so you're just like figured out who he was.
Found him in the job posting, connected to it. And I was like, I'm writing him a message. And I was like, I love this job. I love everything you guys do. Like, it's literally like the in-between that I'm looking for. Try to like zhuzh it up with as much levitatiness as I could.
Yeah.
And
Worked the word stoke in there once or twice.
Yes. Probably. A little shaka maybe in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I heard from Pat, and I had a chat with Pat, who was like hiring. And I remember his hair was so long when we were virtually meeting. And he was like on his way out to go surf, and he's like, okay, bye, nice to meet you. And I'm like, great talk.
Oh my gosh, is he even going to remember this conversation?
I know, freaking out. But I loved it. I mean, I was like, it's such a like a young crowd. Like everything they stand for, it's like a lot of what I stand for, like creatively and
being outdoors.
What an incredible community to be a part of. And yeah, so I was like, oh, please God, let this be the one. And it was not the one.
No.
Yeah, because
I didn't know this was taking this turn.
They hired Gina, who
Gina.
was incredible.
She is.
Who is incredible and like well deserved.
Yes.
She beat me to the job. And yeah, and then like a couple months after, they reached back out and they were like, hey, we want somebody that does apparel. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's like, because they wanted like a technical apparel person.
What does that mean, technical
like,
apparel? Patterns?
Does the, you do like the grade, you do the flats, you do the grading, you communicate with the factories, like you're making sure everything fits, and then like how do you correct that it's very much like everything has a measurement. So like you have to have a measurement about how big this dart is, or you have to have a measurement in between the buttons.
Okay,
like,
so very mathy.
Yes, like very, very technical. And I was like, oh, that's like really not what I want to do. But like in my head, I'm like debating, like, do I take this job just to get in the door? Like, again, the thing, like, do I get in the door and then like pivot?
Exactly, which is something that works.
Yeah. And so then I was like, I'm just going to be honest and say like, this is what I want to do. And this is not what I totally would love to do.
Yeah.
Could potentially do.
Yeah, I have the skill set to do this.
Yeah, but I really was very honest.
Yeah.
Which was tough. I'm like, God, like, am I missing the boat here on an opportunity?
Yeah.
But I just, like, had to stick to my guns. I was like, I don't want to take a job where I'm not going to be liking what I do. Mm-hmm. Like, I really don't want to do that now. Like, I feel like I did that before. And, yeah, so I was very honest. And Pat was like, I'm going to get you in a conversation with Dan. And I'm like, okay. And so I sat with Dan over like a Zoom, and he was like, what do you want to do with your life? And legit.
Oh my gosh, Dan. Coming in with the big questions.
Yeah, very, I'm like, I didn't know we were having a little psychology conversation right now. But yeah, I like told him like what I like to do, what I want to do. And he was like very on. He was like, your job reminds me of my wife's. Like Jess also is like a watercolor artist, like very delicate stuff. Like has such a like we have such similar sense of color and practices. Like she also is like a cut things up, sew it up, scan it back in.
Yes,
like, we have very similar processes of work. And he was like, you remind me a lot of like how she works, and you know, she's trying to like take like little steps back from doing this type of stuff so she can spend time with the kids or whatever. And yeah, he was like, let's see how we can work something out. And they were like kind of giving me little projects like freelancing. Okay. So I started to do like some video ads for them for the festival, and that was like 2022 festival, 2023 festival, I can't even remember. And so I was started to do like hourly like freelance jobs, and then he was like, can you be up here in like a week? And you're in Georgia right now. And I'm in Georgia, yeah. He was like, can you be up here in like a week and you'll be full time? And I was like, like what do you mean? What? Like, what do you mean? And he goes, I'm going to write you an offer and a job description, and if you can be up here in a week, like, we need you. Oh my gosh. And I was like, I'll figure it out. Wow. And I literally, within a week, was up here.
Stop.
In their office, like met with them.
Wow.
Like, yeah, started the job.
What a whirlwind.
I know.
Like a slow burn.
Yeah.
But like then all of a sudden you're in. Once you're in, you're in.
My first day in there, I'm like, so we're staying at like Sean's family's cottage.
Sure.
Which is close by. Sean was like at a hockey game with his family. And I'm like, no, I'm taking an Uber back. And he goes, an Uber? And he's like, no, I'll drive you. And I was like, okay. He goes, do you want to come out to dinner with me and my family? And I'm like, where am I right now?
So funny.
Like, what is this world? Because
amazing.
like I've been in like super corporate type of environments and I loved all my bosses that I worked with, but yeah, it was very different. It was like,
it's like once you're in, you're a part of the family now.
Yeah. And I was like, wild. Literally remember showing up at his house and one of his daughters, Jane, being like, who are you?
Totally.
And I'm like, hello. I'm
Tiff. It's just Tiff.
I'm new here. Yeah, it's just Tiff. You know.
Don't worry about it.
Keep that. But yeah, it was great. And it literally, at my job, everything I do is everything I've learned throughout my college, undergrad, grad, like jobs. Like it's like the perfect just interlaced of all the things that I'm interested in, like music, outdoors, like arts. And he is so appreciative of like the process of things. It is very fast and it's very like, you know, can be like super stressful at times because like such quick turnarounds on things. Yeah. But, you know, with time, we get better. We are trying to improve and, you know, keep on spinning the wheel.
Oh, my gosh. I love that. And I love, too, that you're in a position where it's, I'd like to refer to it as sort of like a big, small business. Yeah. So it's still essentially a small biz.
Yeah, but it's like
big.
10 plus years of like them doing this and like they know what they're doing. Like, they know what works and like we just.
I mean, 2003 they opened. And so it's sort of been on a shot to the moon since there. And so you're in a position where it's like you are constantly probably pivoting to different types of projects. You're not getting stuck with one type of thing.
Totally. Which is like literally the thing that anytime you outweigh anything, I'm like, this is like, I'm working in 4 different businesses at once. Like, I'm working in an apparel brand, but I also work for a music festival, but I also work for a restaurant. Yes. But I also work for like a merch business. Like it's such a wild mixture of like businesses and it makes my job not boring. Like, absolutely. Every day I get like something new, either like signage for the store or we're doing t-shirts for the elevators or we're doing, we're talking about our apparel brand that's coming out next spring or like, every like day it's like very different. Yeah.
Or when I see you out at the events and you're going around, you're taking shots, you're doing video, and stills. We're doing photo, like, and we're not like the primary people, but we're definitely like encouraged to like go out there and like try to capture some of that stuff. And I'm like by no means a photographer. Couldn't tell you how to make a camera of a photo turn out better. I just kind of like mess around with buttons and click things and they come out cool. Let's see what it is. So are you helping to manage any of that staff for like your big events when you're doing festivals, concerts? You guys have like contracted artists come on, photographers, whoever. I mean, I've been a contracted artist on events for you guys. So like, are you helping to manage some of that or what?
In combination with Chad, like we have like a lot of talks like pre-festival, which is like the biggest thing. We have like a conversation about like, what do we want to get out of this? Like, you know, a lot of the time, like we have to remember that we are a brand at the, you know, root of it. And I'm like, how do we make our brand look really well? So like, that's like really been like the biggest thing in the last couple of years is like trying to highlight not only the festival and the experience and the coolness of the weekend, but also like highlight like how our brand fits into all of that. So like, you know, in the last year, Dan designed like the new like shop kind of in the middle of like the fairgrounds of the layout. So now we have like our like big shop area and that's like, okay, like we have to highlight the fact that like our clothes are like in the festival, like they're designed with the idea of like summer and music and all these things. So like how do you put that in front of people in a way that's like authentic? Because it is.
Yeah.
We wear it like.
Well, and then also I was so happy to be hired as a muralist this past year. So much fun. Oh my gosh. Best. And just being able to get like backstage and being, because like I like being a worker bee. I like being like having a role, like even at a party, I'll like attend a party, but I'm like, I'm picking up the trash. Like I'm finding something to do. So, but I don't know that I just like, I'm not someone who's just gonna go to a festival.
Right.
Like, although I might enjoy aspects of it. So to be able to be, first of all, thought of like the fact that like you guys and Jess are always going out of your way to make sure visual artists are brought along.
Yeah.
Because I feel like your outdoor and your music businesses and like your apparel, like you don't need to have live art there too. Like that's a really cool thing. Yeah. And it's important to, I think, your brand. But I feel like I feel like the elbows are out to make space for the visual artists.
We have to. Like, that's like, even when we did Flannel Jam this past October, like, the idea was like make it in the backyard, make it cozier. Mm-hmm. But still, like, we had Alexis doing murals there. Yeah. Like, the art is always going to be a part of it. Like, Jess is part of the mix, and Jess is such a, like, that is her thing. She loves art and advocates for it all the time. Like, the idea of it is highlighting, like, I think the idea of Levitate is not only highlighting the opportunities that people can have in music and the outdoors, but like art is like a big one for us, like he's such a supportive person with like putting on shows, photo, like just getting all these people in the mix so that like we are giving them opportunities and like
yes. Well, and then your guys, like I know Jess has been curating galleries at these events as well, so I've been able to show some work there.
Yep. And now at the shop we have an artist every month, I believe.
Yeah, I know Kinsey's up there right now.
Yep. So we'll do like an artist every month in one of the walls in the shop, so we can sell the art for the artist, and it's like kind of like a month highlight on an artist and their work, and their art is for sale. So it's like a great way and platform for people to like show their art, sell their art, and then donations go to a lot of the I'm blanking on the word, but the
like a percentage of the sales
go towards the foundation.
Yeah. Which I've also been a recipient
of. Which also helps, artists like push their work out. Is it getting a little dark in here? I just started noticing. Maybe.
That's okay. How many of you guys are listening versus watching? Let me know.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's fine.
But yeah, so the foundation is like a very big supporter of artists. There's plans for a similar showcase, like artist showcase that we did with like, the music showcase, where we had like our music of songwriter of the year.
Yeah.
There's plans for it to be like an artist of the year. So yeah, it's always a part of the conversation. It's always a part of Levitate. I don't think that's ever gonna change.
Well, and like just being welcome, like what I was first thinking when going down this route about being able to have opportunities as a visual artist at the festival is like, I got to go like behind the scenes, and I was able to go into like the little dressing rooms that are, I describe them as having like visual privacy, because it's essentially like you're in cow stalls separated by sheets, but it's beautifully done. It's very like you're in a barn, and this is what it is. But like having a display of your clothing. So now the bands are showing up, the artists are showing up, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is for us. And like, they get to throw on a new shirt. Yep. And then now the fans are seeing the bands wearing the Levitate stuff on the stage. And then
that's like part of it. Like
that's available to purchase as well.
Like ideally what we're making is for like, that's like who our customer is in mind, is like, it's the creative person. It's a person that, is a musician or is an artist or, whatever it is. And that's who we keep in mind, and that's who we hope that our customer is. And the biggest part of it is like community, and we want to welcome people into this community of creatives. And I think it's like in every aspect, like too with like the camps, like we try to like, they have like the art camp, like with all the kids, like that's like always, so to me, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, the best. Like,
yeah, that was so much fun. I got to come as a visiting artist once a week for camp this year, and I want to be hired back for next year. It was so much fun. But like, I feel like, you know, there's lots of access points for kids in the community through any of the camps to come in, for people to come in, whether it's like the restaurant or they're coming into the shows, the musicians. You guys are have opportunities for people of all different levels of their music careers to perform, whether it's in the backyard at just like, you know, you're playing music while people are hanging, versus also there's ticketed events. And I think something to think about too is like Levitate is it's like very highly regarded community and brand in this region. And I feel like if people want to get involved, like go to the things.
Yeah.
Like just show up and come to the things. It's such a welcoming community.
Yeah. It's such a cool space. Like everybody that works in the backyard is like incredibly nice. Like all those kids like really go all out every day and like put their just like their everything into their job and have such a smile on their face and like are just like so funny. Yeah, and I love like for us, like we are always in the office, like recluded away, like and then, you know, I have like the summers when like we do this like introductions to like everybody that's gonna be working in the backyard or the summer camps, because we don't get to see them that often, and you know, we meet all the teens that are like coming in. I'm like, hello. I'm like, we are all just dying for interaction. Kind of. Sometimes I'm like, nobody talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, you need to scroll yourselves away because you guys have so many moving parts. It's like you got to be able to like lock in and keep this giant thing moving. It's like if you can even stay one step ahead, it's probably a win for the day.
Yeah. No, right. Totally. But it's cool to see, you know, like when we do get to like go to the backyard for a show and like you see like the connection they've all made, like working in the kitchen or working like, you know, like all the bartenders like are just like so close to each other. And it's just like everything like there is like about a good time, being welcoming, community.
And knowing that like a lot of the staff from admin or like leadership to people running the camp, a lot of the people came up as children in the camps themselves. So
I feel like at this point now I'm probably the only outsider because we no longer have Gina's not working with Levitate anymore. But we were like the people that were like hired in pretty much. Like she's from Jersey, I'm not from anywhere near here. And it's just funny, like the lore goes deep, but it's funny as like an outsider, like see it all, like see all these people that like today we were in a printwear meeting and Dan brought like one of like the first shirts or something, and he was like, the back of it was like a painting of Bob, and he goes, this is the first artwork that Jess did for Levitate.
Oh man, and that's Bob, like, the original owner, the founder of Levitate.
And I was like, that is insane, like that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, this is hanging at my house if you want the original. And you know, just seeing I have like, we were flipping through like a catalog of artwork of all the t-shirts like of time. And one of our marketing guys, Sean, he was like, Tiff, what is this? And I'm like, this is a catalog of Levitate art, dude. Like, and he's like, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it's so much. Like, there's so many years of art, and like, it's just, people know, like, I mean, the OGs will know, but I didn't even know, but about Luminate. And so, like, my husband's brother, he's like, when are they going to bring Luminate back? Like, you should bring, like, a t-shirt that says Luminate. Yes. Like, that's hilarious.
Do it.
But that's, like, how people that were born and raised here and, like, grew up around it, like, really go deep.
Was that the original name, or was it originally Levitate, went to Luminate, and then went back to Levitate? I think that's what it was, yeah. Okay.
It was Levitate, went to Luminate, then went back to Levitate. Yeah. But it's just funny, like, you know, the history of how much history it has, even though it's, like you say, like a small, big brand. But yeah, there's just, it goes deep.
But so fun. So what are you doing? So cool. Are you like, after work, you're doing creative stuff all day? Are you just like vegging out? How do you like, How do you like transition your creative brain off?
Yeah.
Or do you just keep it going? Are you coming home and like working on your own projects?
It's a lot of edging out, a lot of horizontal time.
Good. Good.
A yoga class here and there, Pilates class, just try to, turn the brain off for a second. But my big resolution this year was to make art for myself and that didn't have to do with my job.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard. I love what I do. So it's like very much interlaced with like my effort and my, creative brain. So it's definitely hard. It's challenging when you do that. And then you come home, you're like, I don't have to think anymore.
100%.
Yeah. And so this year I've really like tried to push myself to like do art for myself outside of work. So at the beginning of the year, I was doing like a lot of like, I bought a bunch of beads and I'm like, I'm just going to do some like necklaces and things. Like I'm just going to make things for myself, like just trying to get something going that doesn't relate to my job.
Yes.
Then I was like, okay, gave myself a goal. I'm like, I want to have a piece of art for the foundation event, the ball.
Great.
Which I did.
Okay, what was the piece?
Somebody bought it, which was great.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Exciting to have a sale.
It was like a collage, again, like very multidisciplinary, sewed paper and like paint flowers, and it was like a nature escape, but just like kind of very collaged. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, so I made that, and then now my next thing on my list is that when we were in the office, Dan gets these samples. Sometimes we're trying to sample different poster styles and printed posters, and we tried this like metal thing, and they sent the sample, but it was like cut off fully, and he's like, it's a great sample, but like we can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Just we throw it away. And I'm like, you're not throwing this away. Like it has like a framing thing in the back, and I'm like, I could make something out of this. And I'm like, I'll paint over it and hang it in my house.
Perfect.
And he was like, do whatever you want.
Awesome.
So I brought them home.
Cool.
And my plan, it's just two of them, and they're like this big.
Yep.
My plan is to paint over them. And when I was in my grad program, in those printmaking classes, I had like a moment of, and it's not a moment, but I guess I'm still kind of obsessed with it. But I love milk cartons. Mm-hmm. And I love milk.
Okay.
Nobody judge me.
It's okay. No judgment.
Yeah. And I just think it's so funny. Like when I think about when I was growing up, like it was like milk propaganda. You know what I mean? Like the got milk thing, like it was so big. And,
yeah, it really was.
And then like we turned against it. We were like, milk is bad for you.
I know. We turned our backs on milk.
Yeah. And it was like, no, everybody drinks almond milk and oat milk. And I'm like, what happened here? So I just love the lore. And when I was in my printmaking classes, I started designing these like milk cartons, and like, like if you used a milk carton as like a flower vase, and like, so I started to mix, like I loved flowers. That's like one of my biggest things that I love to draw and paint. And so I did like so many editions of like milk cartons, and my screen printed. And then now I'm like, I want to paint a milk carton and an orange carton, and I'm going to hang them in my kitchen.
Yes. Like are you going to have it being used as a vase? Is there going to be like a floral into the milk carton, or we're just going?
So I'm kind of mapping it out. I'm painting like a little milk carton that has like little flowers coming out of it as like a vase.
Love.
And then I'm trying to think about how to incorporate, because I designed prints for apparel, and I'm like, what if I find a way to like mix in prints with my like artistic painting, which honestly like kind of was like inspo by Carla.
Carla Hunter?
Yeah, because when she painted her fishes at the festival, Jess was like, can you use the flannels in the behind your paintings?
Yes.
And I was like, that's such a cool idea. And so I'm like, okay, like if I were to design like my own prints, like put them behind my artworks, like that would be a really cool thing to like kind of bring in the collage aspect of it a little bit.
Yes.
So yeah, that's kind of where my brain is going. That's kind of the idea that I have for it. I've slowly sketched something on my iPad.
Great.
Haven't really put paint to metal, I guess, yet, but it's coming. And yeah, and I'm like just like trying to like push myself to have like any other ideas. Have you heard about this snail mail thing?
No.
Oh my god, you would love this.
Okay.
It's like a new thing now that all these like small creators, like illustrators, like are coming up with these snail mails, and it's like subscriptions that you like join, and then every month they'll send out like a little letter to you, and it's like a story of like what was inspired for their month, and then they send you like a little art print and some stickers. And
amazing.
It's so cute, and I love it's like very much like based on community because they're trying to like share their work with people, and like they write out these letters, like really like well thought out things. And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to start something like that because I have so many friends like from school. They're all over the world. And, you know, I'm like, this would be such a nice way to connect creatively again.
Yes.
And
okay, get me in on it.
Yes.
And then so people are like sending all these different prints to each other.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you sign up, these are like illustrators. If you sign up for their thing, they'll send out to everybody that registered their like monthly thing. So I'm like, oh, that would be cute. Like I can just I'm going to not make it like a monetary thing, but I'm like, I'm just going to send it to I'm going to make these things like for like a month, and I'm going to send them to people and be like, here's some art, like here's like a story or whatever. And like, I'm trying to do it with like, my husband's like he's a writer, and he works for Risty.
Oh, cool.
In a very like analytical job. Like he's like a custom program, builder, and very smart, but he loves to write and hasn't like he has like his like spur moments of like he's really in and writing stories, and then he's like stops for like forever. So I was like, oh, maybe this could be like a cool thing for us to do together. Like you can write a story, and then we'll create these characters, and I'll draw and like do a little print or something. Oh my gosh. So we came up with like we're calling it the party post. And like our little thing is that there's always something to celebrate. Love. And I'm hoping that December will be the month that we can send out our first party post.
Oh, this is exciting.
I know. It's such a cute thing to like connect with people. I like saw it all over my TikTok, and I was like, oh, I want to get in on that.
Well, and I think also this is a good thing for people who are looking to bring more creativity in their lives to think about, because it's almost like a tangible thing. Like the idea for me of graduating from painting with a painting degree and then like going to New York and figuring out the gallery scene that seemed very abstract, pun intended, to me, it's like, what am I doing with this stuff? So like, first of all, the idea that you've been making stuff and now it's like you can show it at the summer foundation gala, at Flannel Jam, there's a gallery. Like you do have a good access point to be able to show your work. So being able to just make one or two standalone pieces a year, it's so great because you do have a place where you can get it up there, get the sale. And then also this, it's like, will get you motivated to make, it's like, there's an end result. Like where is this work going?
I think the hardest thing for any like creative that works a job and comes home and like for like last year I was like beating down on myself so much, like because I'm surrounded by so many creatives, especially in within Levitate, because we work with so many creatives, and I'm like, oh, all these people are making cute, cool things, and not that I'm making cool things for my job. Yeah. But I'm like beating down on myself that I'm not like pushing myself to do things for myself. And I think the hardest thing is like not having a deadline, or like when you were in a class, you had an outline. Like everybody has to do this project about this thing, and you know the topic can be yours, but we have to have like a printed piece, a app, or whatever. You know, there was like an end result, and whatever it was, up to you. But you had to have it done in 10 weeks, and these were the guidelines. And I think coming up with those definitely helped to get you moving towards it. That was helpful. Like putting myself a deadline, like that was tough. Because again, like if not, then I would just come back and be like, I'm tired today.
Yeah.
I'm too tired today.
I know. That's great. So you have this party print idea, making work to show, which I feel like are both low pressure, fun, because you need it to be low pressure and fun too.
Yes, and that's a good starting point.
Well, I mean, also it's like your job is your primary studio practice, and I have these same conversations with art teachers who beat themselves up about like people who are working full time in the schools. Who are like, I don't have my studio practice going. It's like, right, because your studio practice, you're using it's at school.
At work,
and that's a wonderful thing because again, it's like the trade-offs in life. You know, like I have my studio practice, but like in reality, I started as a stay-at-home mom. Like I was working a customer service job full time before I had kids, and then I took a pottery class. So I'd leave my full-time job and the pottery class. So again, that's the thing. It's like I was scheduled outside of my house
to go do something.
Do something. I didn't expect to be a stay-at-home mom. It's like an amazing privilege I never anticipated for myself. But it worked out that way. And
it opened a door for you to be able to.
It opened a door because I was like, oh, being a stay-at-home mom is way too hard and I need to work. But I'm in a position where I need to just work enough to be able to cover my childcare costs. So that allowed me to start this like slow roll foundation. So I think sometimes people look at people who are like, oh, they're just working in their studio practice. They don't work for someone else. It's like, right, but like I'm running a nonprofit and I haven't paid myself a salary yet. So you know what I mean? So it's like, am I working for, like, I mean, I am working for myself and I'm building a foundation towards something. But it's like, it's only because of the privilege where I am in a position to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If you had to pay yourself a salary, like in reality, like that would be like extremely challenging.
I would just have to get a job. And that's the thing where it's like, I always expected to have a full-time job. I never expected to be in this position, like, which is like a whole nother conversation about like, how do you even get yourself into a position like that? But it's just, it's tricky.
But it has like opened the door for you to be able to work and share the world of art with people that perhaps like would have not encountered it. And it brings such a, like, I just think whenever you're making stuff, you like, first of all, you get like fully disconnected from whatever like is happening mentally or outside or whatever, and you get to channel it into something that like I just tune out. Like when I'm painting, I have music going and I'm just like, this is the one thing I'm focusing on right now, is this one petal, and if I don't get the shadow right, and it's like, I used to love swimming, still do, and it was the same thing. Like it was kind of like, it helped so much with anxiety because all you have to focus on the time being is counting your breaths and counting your strokes. And it's the same thing with painting and the same thing with any art thing. It's like, you have to take care of the task that's in front of you right now. And I think sharing that, especially with like the job that you do with Creative Pathways, like, so beneficial for people. And if you wouldn't have been in that path, and like those people wouldn't have found like perhaps like those opportunities, which I think is like so amazing that you do. I had a really hard time when I was in New York, like saying to myself, like, the job that I was doing is so like, not vain, but like, what is my like what am I giving to the world by doing this job? And that to me was like really hard to like figure out. Like it felt very much like a selfish job. And
I don't think it was. It's just like a job is
I know,
a job.
It's a job at the end of the day. And it was like my passion. But but in that way that it was like my passion, it felt kind of like I'm doing it for me. And I'm like, what am I really bringing value to? Like, I don't know, somebody's house in Cabo right now, like what? But you know what I mean? Like, it's just very hard. And I think like, because like we don't have like, again, it's not like a such an essential job, perhaps, like, or essential career.
Yeah.
That you do find, I'm like, oh, my career is kind of whatever. Like, who cares, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saving lives. But you know, I like always loved teaching and tutoring when I was in grad school and when I was in undergrad. I loved being in those summer classes with like the high school kids and like just encouraging them that like this was fun and like this was a possibility and like this is like a route that you can take. And it just, I always really enjoyed the process of teaching somebody how to do something or how to or what they're they want to make and they don't know how to make it, and then you're like help them figure it out, you know. Like I always love that. I think at one point in my life I will love to go back to college and be a professor. Like that's like a major goal for me.
Cool.
But yeah, like the tutoring process and like working with people is such a rewarding aspect of it, and it's where I think like you do feel like you are, you know, doing something for the world, you know, like I don't know, it can get very like existential, but I'm just like in this world of like just disaster everywhere you look. I know. Like I look at my job and I'm like, how are we making the world a better place?
Yeah. But I think too, it's like for me, I feel like 2020 was really huge because that was sort of when everyone was pulled back.
Yeah.
The world was particularly on fire. And I kind of it forced me to sort of like look around my corner of the world and be like, okay, how can I help and stay in my lane? Right? Like, what are my privileges? Where do I have access?
Yeah.
Where can I spread that access? And on the South Shore, just south of Boston in Massachusetts, where we live, there is a ton of support through the arts. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. I can like pretty much work and be involved in the arts anywhere from where I live in Whitman to the coast.
Yeah.
But what about the town right next to me? Like, what about in Brockton?
Yeah.
That's literally next to Whitman.
Yeah.
That's where my family's from. That's where I'm from, and I have no professional connections here. Like, what is going on? Well, guess what? It's a gateway city. That's where a lot of people are immigrating to the region through Brockton.
Wow.
It is an incredibly diverse city.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of other parts, of the South Shore. So it's like, how invisible is that wall of access? So I'm like, okay, I have this niche specialty, community arts education. I have this privilege of being a stay-at-home mom, so I don't have to be trying to like make a ton of money. I don't need to go try to get a job in a museum right now. But how can I leverage my access points on the South Shore where I do have access and start helping that money and access flow around more consistently through these walls that we have for a variety of reasons that have been there for generations. And so that really, again, it's like, what am I doing and what's the outcome? Like, I'm not just randomly making art in my studio, which amazing for people who can just like sink in and do that.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing that I enjoy doing too. But for me to really start getting legs under what it is that I'm doing with Creative Pathways, I needed like to have some sort of a purpose.
Yes.
And I think to translate that to what you're doing with Levitate, it's like, okay, Levitate, you're not like curing cancer over there, but there is the foundation that has opened up.
Exactly. But that's like exactly what you said. I'm like, what can I do while staying in my lane? Like that is like literally it. And that, working for people like that it's like, we have a foundation and we can help kids go to camp. We can help creators like do their projects that they envision doing. We can like support the community and create more opportunities for people to experience these, you know, experiences that we've all grown up with or that we may be a part of, but like somebody may not. So that's definitely like, again, like such another like rewarding part of my job is that I am connected to that type of stuff.
Yeah, like when you create a successful design that sells well, 1% of all those sales are going to the foundation. And like I got a $500 grant from Levitate the first year they were doing grants from the foundation. And that supported me going to work with like over 60 kids at an after school program at Downey Elementary in Brockton, where I continue to fundraise for. Right now, all of my fundraising goes there. Like every time I can make up to $400, that books me with working with about 60 kids at the after school program. It's literally, I just need the donations. And once I get the donations, like the pathway has been created. Okay. Like I need that. I can go.
The flow to be able to put it together.
But like I'm chipping away at it, and places like Levitate, I am keeping my eye on because I know that more opportunities are coming in the future to support that type of thing. So I think it's interesting. It's like, where do you find purpose is a big question. I think everyone has and struggles with different times in your career, in your art making.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have an intense job where it's like you guys are moving really quickly. So like it's okay for your studio practice, I think, just to be fun and light.
Totally. And I think like, I mean, the conversation I have with the most, especially when I was like doing those summer classes with the students, and some of them were like, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. And I'm like, listen, I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I think if you truly, and not that everybody has to, I definitely have a lot of friends that are like engineers and work in finance, and they're like, I live to enjoy my life, not to work. And I'm like, that's wonderful for you, but I need to like what I'm doing. Because I just would struggle so much if I didn't. And I feel like if people can find like what they're really like to do, and if it's within the arts, and like try to find like somewhere that like mixes your interests in. Might not be all of them, but it might hit like one or two. It really helps like narrow down and like look for those opportunities. And it's tough when you're like, I feel like I've traveled a lot of places for jobs, and I've had that freedom and that possibility. Like I wasn't like tied to a place. Like when I was in Savannah, I was like, I could care less if I stay here or leave. Like I'm looking everywhere. But yeah, it just like, I think a big part, if you are involved in your community, like I wish I had more involvement in Savannah, especially because there's so many students that have stayed and opened their own small businesses. And I know a lot of them, but I don't know all of them. And I think you do a really good job of like getting your name out there and like knowing people, and not for selfish purposes at all.
Thank you.
But more for like connecting the right people to each other, like knowing who to direct to who. And like I think a big part of like, I think about when I want to teach, my biggest thing is I want to have a network of people that when I have a student or have a person, I'm like, I know exactly who you need to talk to.
Yeah.
I know exactly who will be a good mentor for you.
Yes.
Like that type of stuff is like so important. Like I reached out when I was in grad school to this woman, Elizabeth Goodspeed, who's a graphic designer. And her biggest project was called The Casual Archivist. And she was a big pusher of like collecting and looking back in vintage and making like vintage references, and how we can keep all those things within our design process and how they can inspire it. And I like saw her on Instagram, and I was like, I really like her job. I really like what she stands for. I think she would be a really good advisor for my thesis. I'm just gonna shoot her an email. And she was like, I live in Rhode Island. If you're around, we'll have a drink. And I'm like, amazing. I'm up here for a weekend. I literally was like an hour away. And I'm like, Sean, you take me there. And I met with her, and she was like the nicest person. And I feel like a part of you has to like do that and like make the network, because if not, you're like never gonna meet anybody. And like having people like that are like have references to give you, and like, you know, like that to me is like the biggest thing. I'm like, they're not gonna give you the answers. It's up to you to figure them out. But they could know where to point you. Like, you should read this book, or you should read this author, or you should look up this artist and like their story. It's like really inspiring, and like look at this person for materiality, and like those like little things. Like, I try to keep like a library that I feel like it's like stored somewhere in my brain, and then when somebody is like asking me a question, I'm like, ooh, I have a great reference for that. You should look at this.
Absolutely.
It's like an ongoing library of resources.
Yeah, it's super helpful to be that person. But also I want to call out that that's the second time, at least, I've heard in this conversation where you reached out. I think it was to Chad. You figured out who the marketing person was at Levitate. You applied, but you were also like, I need more direct contact. So you also reached out.
Yeah.
And then again here, you went ahead and you reached out.
Yeah,
You're like,
kind of just have to do it. Like,
you do. And what I think, like, networking sounds like a scary word, and I really think it should just be called community building.
Totally.
That's what it actually is.
Yeah, networking, it sounds like so corporate.
Yeah.
And like, we're gonna wearing like, hello, my name is patches.
I know. And it, honestly, like, I think it is easier for some people than others. Like, I don't know that it's always been easy for me, but it is really easy for me now because I'm an extrovert and I like being out there. I love meeting people. I'm super curious about people, and I genuinely like people. Like, even people I don't like, I'm like...
You're like, I could have a conversation with you.
I could have a conversation with you. I could figure out, like, where the quirk is, where we're maybe off, and have respect for you on your own journey.
Be, like, genuine about it.
You know what I mean? So I'm not scared of, like, not liking someone or whatever. Like, I just literally like everyone.
That, honestly, is, like, the toughest thing. Like, I was always that kid, like, hiding behind my mom. Like, she'd be like, say hello, and I'm, like... waving with my hand, or like even when we would be like shopping and she'd be like, ask if you can use your student discount. I'm like, that's embarrassing. I would never.
Amazing.
And she's like, you're paying this out of your own pocket. Like, you really want that discount. Or like, you know, like
it's like costing you actually money to be shy right now. It is actually costing you dollars.
Or like she would just, it's such a different, my mom also an extroverted person, like will talk to literally anyone.
Yeah.
And she would always push me and be like, well, why don't you go ask this so-and-so if they know so-and-so? And I'm like, no. I'm like, that's inappropriate. And she's like, it's not. I'm like, she's like, the thing she always say to me is like, if you don't knock on that door, it's never gonna open. If you don't knock on the door, it's never gonna open. And I'm like, it was so hard to get over that. And I think I'd still struggle with it a little bit. I am an introverted person. I am shy when it comes to like putting myself out there. Once I know somebody, I'm like super talkative.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any like, I don't know, qualms about it, because I'm like, you know me, it's no perceiving.
But you've pushed yourself to do it in really challenging spots. Not only when you reached out those 2 times I just mentioned, but also when Dan gave you a job offer that you're like, I really want to do this.
You kind of had to be honest and be like, if he doesn't, I mean, I think a lot of the time you just gotta say like, what's the worst that can happen here?
Exactly. And that's also been really helpful for me, because again, I was raised to work and have a strong work ethic, and I love working hard, and all of these risks I take. What's the worst case scenario? I have to get a full-time job. Like, that was that's plan A.
Yeah,
that's like actually the first plan, which I was completely fine with. Like, life took me on this other path, but like it really reduces the risk. So I think for people who are having a difficult time, like doing that community building, not networking, we're rebranding.
Yes.
Doing that community building, if that's difficult for you, number one, just take a deep breath and push yourself when it's like a job opportunity. Yeah. But when it's not a job opportunity, when you're, cause I literally will like become best friends with the cashier at the coffee place. Okay. So you don't need to do that. Like, that's, people do think I'm crazy, but find your local extrovert.
And most likely, if you, within the world of art and creativity, the person that's going to come and meet with you is probably equally as awkward or, self-conscious or whatever, So it's like, there's nothing to be scared of, really. And again, like, the worst thing they can say is no. They don't want to meet with you. They don't want to talk to you. Or you go, and then they were like, not my vibe, you know? Like, that's the worst that can happen. And besides that, it's just, like, you can make a connection, and if they like what you do, and you like what they do, and they have knowledge to give you, like, I'm sure they're happy to share it. And, like, I've never met anybody that's like, I will not tell you how I did this. It's a secret.
It can feel that way a lot of times in the arts community, but like, everyone's the main character of their own story. So keeping that in mind, like, if you ask anyone a question about anything, like, oh, where'd you get those pants? You know what I mean? Like, you might end up having a much more, like, longer, interesting conversation. What brings you here tonight? You're at a gallery opening. Oh, what piece do you like? You know, like,
I would say, like, I have such a, in those, especially in those environments, like a gallery opening or whatever, every time I go, I'm like, I have a hard time going if I don't know anybody. If I have nobody to go with, I'm like, doing things alone, oh my God. It's like exposure therapy for me. Like, I lived in New York for a little bit over a year. I never went to Broadway because I had nobody to go with. Yeah. And it's a show where you're going to sit by yourself and be quiet. Yeah. But I just, in my head, I don't know why, I was like, oh my God, no, how embarrassing to go to something alone.
Amazing. Meanwhile, everyone's the main character of their own story. No one noticed.
Yeah, nobody would care.
No.
The person you're with could be at the bathroom. But, you know, I'm like, yeah, no. Like, doing the things alone, like, definitely are so scary. But they're gonna benefit you in the long run. Like, you know, like, you just kind of have to do it and, like, rip the Band-Aid and just leave. Once you leave and you overthink about everything you said, you're like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. They're not thinking about it.
No, they're thinking about their regrets of things they said and did. So
throughout the night.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So it's very challenging to, like, go to these spaces where, like, you see people talking to each other and you're like, oh, everybody here knows each other. Yeah. But you don't know anybody. Yeah. And I'm like, well, how do they even meet people, you know? So, like,
exactly.
Just kind of slowly be like, make an interaction, ask somebody about their work.
Yep. Go to the thing. Just go to the events. Yeah. Be a part of the community you want to be a part of. Like, show up to the things at the place you want to be
and it was, like,
involved with.
I missed on this because I was in here that weekend, but that the frame store 50-year celebration, like, that looked like such a fun thing. And again, it's like celebrating a hometown frame store that's been open for a long time. Yeah. But I'm sure there's a lot of people there that are creatives that are bringing their families, and, like, you never know, like, whose person knows who, and, like, you know.
Exactly. Like, I mean, Frame Center is a great example. Like, I went in just to get some of work framed for my home. Then chatting with the owner, and then he books me on his podcast, and then he put a pottery order in, and then he hired me for window painting. It's like just being in the spaces where you see people getting arts jobs. And then funny you brought that up, because Christina Godfrey of the Savage Godfrey Gallery, who we spoke with this morning getting coffee, Christina was the moderator for a live podcast recording they did at one of the 50th celebration events. So you have to look up the Inside the Frame podcast. Okay. Because you'll get to hear that. And that's another great conversation everyone should listen to, because they're talking about collecting art, and both from the collector's and the artist's perspective. So how do you get your artwork collected? How do you collect work? How do you interact with galleries and this and that? So again, just like being a part of that community. And like I had got a phone call. I had a call with Christina maybe like a week before that, just because I knew she was a gallerist and had corporate connections, and I had this idea for this corporate workshop program. Oh, so cool. I'm like, hey, can we like have a call? Yeah. And she absolutely did, gave me all of her open feedback. And it's like, the idea I had isn't complete. It's not like she's like, yes, I think you should call this place and book the thing. But it's like, now that's just another person in the universe who has an idea about the type of programming I want to run. So maybe in 3 years, she might run into someone who's like, oh, this is a good fit. Or also, she did give me feedback on like how I could maybe tweak the idea I had a little bit to fit different things. And so I have done that. And
no, and like, once you're in people's radars, like, they'll, you know, as soon as something comes, they'll like know who to send somebody to, you know, like that whole realm. Like, it's so funny, like with the frame center thing, like I was away, came back, my husband gifted me like one of my art pieces framed, and I was like, wow, this is such nice framing, like the purple matting, like this is sick.
Yeah.
Turn it around, I'm like, frame center. I'm like, oh, it's from this frame center. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, Beth Bailey does her windows. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, they have a podcast and everything. And he was like, wow, yeah, the guy helped me. It was really nice. And I was like, yeah, they seem like lovely people. I was like, did you like it in there? Should we go back?
Yes, you should, because there's a gallery upstairs too. So you can go in.
I did not know this.
There's like the frame center. You can go in just like downstairs, get stuff custom framed, which is amazing. They have artists working there.
Love that.
So that, get you out, get a purple mat. But it makes sense, right? So then you go upstairs, there's a gallery, so they always have different shows. Yeah. And in the back upstairs, they have a bunch of pre-cut frames. Oh, so it's the frames with the glass at all standard sizes and really good prices, like competitive prices.
Yeah,
so you can just go, I have an 8x10. You can go pick one up. And then they also have mats all cut too. Oh, lovely. So you can put your own stuff together. You don't have to spend all the money on a custom framing piece when you shop there. They have different price point options.
Yeah, no, I have to make my way up there. It's just so cool. Like once you're, you know, it's funny. He's like community adjacent because he like hears about everything like through me a little bit, and I'm like the same way when he's like in Rhode Island. But yeah, it's just like awesome to be like in this like kind of community. Once you like know one person, like especially somebody like you know everybody knows Dan. Like I say Levitate and they're like, oh my god, whoever works there, and I'm like, they sure probably do. So many names.
Exactly. So I feel like these are the advice we're coming up with. Like, make connections. At least find your local extrovert and make a connection with them, because they're going to be talking to everyone and finding the connections for you.
Go to the events.
And also, I think when you're a creative person, all the sort of non-creative people in your life are pitching you every job. Like, I remember when I was first starting out, people like, oh, could you make this for me? Could you make this? I'm like, that is completely not my field. But think about who you know who can do it, even if it's a stranger, and move that work along to the next person, because that next person is going to remember that you sent them a job, and then they'll send you a job. You know what I mean? So like, if a job doesn't fit for me, I always try to send it out. I always try to place it. If I have to say no, if I can't book it in, I send it out, and then that always ends up coming back. It's like a karma thing. Karma's real. Yeah,
it truly is.
Yeah. Any other advice? What other tips do we have for local creatives? I feel like we're kind of crushing it.
Are we? I feel like, how long has this been?
Like, this has been a 4-hour podcast. I have to pee so bad too. Okay. But yeah, like closing.
Do what makes you happy. Yeah. And it'll never feel like, it'll feel tiring, but it'll never feel like your world is just like dragging, you know? Yeah. And explore everything. Don't leave any rocks unturned. Yeah. Have fun. Play.
I love it.
And that's my advice.
All right. That's good. And also just come to all the Levitate events, because we'll probably both be there.
Festival next year will be a great one.
They always are.
So come check it out.
They're going to hire me for painting it live again. I'm manifesting that right now. There's no actual job offers.
It sure will happen.
But it was a lot of fun last time.
But yeah, come to our events. Come support. Check out our website if you're not in the area, or if you want to shoot it to somebody again, like that you think this vibe connects with, like levitatebrand.com.
Totally. And people are traveling for this. When I was at live painting at the festival, I was chatting with random people walking by, and people are traveling for the festival. So travel here for us.
Yeah, come.
We're a destination now.
Yeah, we sure.
And we're in the cutest coastal New England community. Yeah. Like, it is the most New Englandy of New England coastal vibes here. Yeah. It's the cutest spot.
For sure.
All right, come hang out and learn how to surf.
To check out. Yeah. Or just hang out. I don't surf.
Yeah.
And I just,
me neither.
You know, sit by the water and I look out and
all season, all year too. Winter
year,
beach
dude.
is a great time.
Oh, it's amazing. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like a fall beach with a little orangey,
That's
sunset.
where my son is right now. My parents have him down at the beach
Oh, nice.
in Marshfield.
Jealous.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tiff.
Bye, everybody.